That's done, that's done, that's done, that's done, that's done. I am out.
Okay. Ajax will hiss, "Stupid dwarves always getting in the way. It's been that way for years." As he will attempt to bring down his Bone Claw once again upon
Geráck
Geráck.
feels proud. Getting in the way of
That
devils.
is a 35 versus armor class.
Yeah, that's it.
You take 80 points of damage. And
Okay.
he gets to make a attack with his Doom Venom Sting as a free action.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just pathetic.
This is versus physical defense.
Yeah.
20 points of damage, and you cannot heal using recoveries even involuntarily. Save ends. As a poison, the Doom Venom is pumped into Geráck's body. The Stinger
20
withdraws. Yeah, so a total of 100 points of damage from those two attacks.
Yeah. Was that a save ends or?
It's a save ends effect, so you can roll a save for it at the start of your turn, of course.
All right.
Because you're implacable.
That's at least something.
It's the end of Ajax's turn. Aranas.
Well, Geráck seems to be in a little bit of trouble, but first, before I forget, I have to do this. And I will get my first one.
Yep, you sure will.
Finally.
We got like, what,
as,
2 or 3 in the last combat?
Yeah, and this one I've just been forgetting it constantly. Alright, well,
It's a crutch.
I can help you somewhat, Geráck. Because, quick action to cast this for power for once. Giving you 60 temporary hit points.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that should do a little bit for you.
Feel the power of the goddess.
Yes.
Yes.
It is pretty good. Pretty good power.
It is decent.
And I'll
Roll
move
a
to
save.
engage, because, actually, you get a save as well.
Oh.
As
Right.
Gryph pointed out, you do get a save. Alright,
Sweet.
you can now heal using recoveries again.
That's good. That's good.
I'm
Sort of a
out.
backwards way of doing it, but, Yeah, I'll move in, and then I will attack with, actually cast the Hammer of Faith, too. didn't
You
I?
sure did. Ever so long ago, far away from the fucking spell breakers. That is enough to hit Ajax. And he is staggered as the
Beautiful hit,
tooth
too.
rips into his back, and the tooth... Yes, 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 yes.
Hates demons for some reason. And he'll say, why? Why turn to these ways? It didn't have to be like this. I'll do it again.
Ah! Alright, Ajax is severely wounded. It doesn't really have much in the way of blood to cough up, courtesy of the fact that it already did that all over Geráck. And really the surrounding area. However, it is severely wounded, this Ajax creature. There we go.
Ah. Perfect.
Yes. Just what you always wanted, this fucking Call of Cthulhu shit.
Yes. All my dreams are coming true.
Ajax hisses, "It's been like this for years. I needed help, and someone was there for me."
You can surrender. You can still return to the light.
No.
Ajax
Geráck
looks over and says, "I will yield."
Alright, he'll yield. Oh, Paladin, he has surrendered!
He will yield into a pile of bones and ash.
Killed him! He surrendered to
did.
us.
Ajax looks over at Aranas and says, "I yield," as like the Warhammer.
Well, warhammers are unwieldy.
Yes, it buckles into the creature's body made primarily of bone, and then all of the bone fragments explode. Again, around Geráck and now Aranas. Just shards of bone everywhere, threatening to go into eyes, like noses, all through hair.
Sort of grab Geráck and say, now we'll never know what happened. How this
We can-
happened. If there are any
Wait.
others.
I could not let him live. I couldn't do it.
Combat is over. I will, if you do not mind, I can shift us to narrative mode. This will be the final battle that you guys will face so you don't have to read more charge rolls or anything. I'll cruise through some narrative rolls since I know we've been 4 hours in the session. Aelor does suffer his death, courtesy of how amazingly your group managed to defend the plateau. You managed to preserve the Orb of Storms that your group carried, and in a one-on-one combat, it turns out that Ishana Vaelduth was able to defeat Aelor the Draco Druid, and he is slain, smitten by his own lightning, and reduced to nothing but a smear in the dirt of the Colosseum. In the aftermath, Ajax's body isn't the only one that shows these signs. Littered across the arena, up and down all the numerous stairs is Dark's typing. Also, all of bodies of creatures that Geráck fought before in the sea, just a bit northeast of Newport. That chaos behemoth, that fucking floating island that like pulled bodies into itself to protect itself. Entities just like those. Warped masses of chittering flesh and sinew. And those are found in every encampment. The Orc Lord, the Elf Queen, Dwarf King, scattered all over. It's many individuals who are also fighting, perhaps on the side of Aelor, for championing a cause. Stop and look around in horror as they see comrades of theirs, peers, individuals they trusted, even loved, now reduced to this horrific corrupt paste. It is explained in the conclave of the conclave to follow that these are effects that can touch all druids. The controlling of nature's power is a delicate balance, and giving in to an influx of power can result in bodily and mental corruption, which can turn your bodies into jittering corrupt masses. Druids who this happens to have never been known to be able to control themselves and their mutations and hide them in this fashion. They've always been known to lose their magic and basically just go to the wayside. The fact that all of these entities, it must be 2,000-3,000, if not more, of the 10,000 plus conclave, the fact that they can all hide it speaks to just how deep-rooted this corruption was within all of the druids of the entire empire and its surrounding environs. The druid populace is significantly shaken by this. They have been wounded greatly. Your actions here, since I am speaking from a metagame perspective, have saved the druids from falling into a horrific civil war, where they would basically just rip at each other and be completely useless. Your actions also prevented Aelor the Draco Druid from taking control. And along the way, you managed to convince the highly aggressive and hostile High Druid herself to spare the Empire. The impact of what you've done here cannot be overstated. Despite almost all of you having no connection or real affiliation with the Druids, by not only bringing them an artifact used to control nature, but then revealing all of this bad, vile corruption caused universally by the three in their midst, is such an immense boon. Accordingly, first off, I would like to welcome... Oh, first off, among other things, welcome to level 9. I know you've had many incremental advances to basically prop yourself up there anyway, but now it is official. You are level 9. You will, of course, be fittingly given a full heal-up. In addition, each of you will be presented with items and wealth that I will contact you personally about before next session, as emissaries from across the Empire, like druids, will seek you out and give you personal accolades and some fortune in exchange for what you've done. Furthermore, your actions carry with them grave consequences. Positive, I would hope, because this is the path that you all have chosen. Everyone, except for Aranas, is now forced to switch one of their icon relationship dice to the High Druid, be it a positive or conflicted relationship. Aranas, you're allowed to add a second one there if you want to swap another one, but you're not obligated to do so. The fact of it being that the actions that you've taken here are so fundamentally and immensely supporting of the Druid cause and their survival that there can be no other interpretation all across the world. Favor in an icon of your choosing has fallen, and exchange is replaced by the useful gratitude of the Druids. This also carries graver concerns. For anyone who had a positive relationship with the Archmage, I believe that is Aurelia and Tempus, congratulations, that's gone now. You can move the dice to the High Druid.
Mine was conflicted, not positive.
It's
Is it
gone
the
as
same
well.
thing?
Yes.
Okay.
In the process of awarding the Orb of Storms, the High Druids, and effectively saving them from internally combusting, you have grievously offended the Dragon Empire, particularly Pertinax Bluebane himself. You have set bridges and connections on fire. This goes the same for you, Jasmine, and you'll have to lose a die with the Emperor. And this will cause your artifact to call your commitment into question.
Mm-hmm.
Although the Emperor placed trust in you to resolve the matter of the High Druids, that didn't quite involve, as you'll discover later, those messages that were sent were meant to, reward you. You were offered the actual Imperial Governorship of Newport.
Mm-hmm.
Which is the, family's beloved city. Tempus was offered opportunity to learn more about his historic past, and as for Aurelia, they knew she really wouldn't care about the pardon so much as resources to help her actually achieve her goals. And the three of you have, in the routes that you've chosen, disappointed the Dragon Empire. Both the Emperor and the Archmage are pissed. Accordingly with that, you folks will also be gaining a cursed relationship die with the Emperor and the Archmage. A cursed die is rolled whenever you roll icon relationships, and it has no remote benefit. Instead, if you roll a 1 on it, or a 2, bad things do happen. Despite the fact that the Dragon Empire is under severe threat, under possible collapse, you've cast your vote by handing over this crucially important artifact, not to anyone from the Dragon Empire, but to the High Druid herself, to be used for druidic purposes and then destroyed. But on the bright side, you do have the wealth and resources that will be made available to you, and I will share part of that right now. Although I know this won't interest all of you, it will perhaps be interesting enough. Some of the resources that are included in this include possible new spells. For your efforts within the Wild Wood, you all are given special access to druidic magic in the form of one-use spell crystals. Each of you may select one of these, and no selection can be duplicated. Consuming a spell crystal, which takes a week of study, will cause the power tapped in it to embed itself within your mind. You will learn the spell permanently, and the crystal will shatter afterwards. The spells are 7th level by default, though you may place them within 9th level spell slots. They will fill any spell slot, no matter your caster type. And if you naturally can't cast spells, it won't help you to use, but you might be able to make some other use of it. And as noted on the side, icon relationships that are still lingering are instead going to be poured into members of those factions seeking you out and bestowing upon you what they feel that you have more than earned for your undeniable aid in helping the druids here. So yes, welcome to level 9. You all have now a positive or conflicted relationship with the High Druid.
Conflicted.
Yep. Any of you who had or die with the Archmage or Emperor, positive or conflicted, that's gone now.
It's become cursed.
And yes, all of you can pick whether you have a curse die with the Archmage or the Emperor.
Let's see. I guess the Emperor would make. Oh, wait, the Archmage would make the most sense for me, since I haven't really done anything with the Emperor.
Yes. You all have undeniably burned bridges. This was a near total victory. The only sad thing that could be noted, of course, was what happened with Aurelia and Exilia at the start.
Yes, that is my single regret. I could have totally healed her. Had I used my magic item that allows me to touch anyone I can see that is near plant matter, which I assume is around here everywhere, I
She
could
would
have
have been standing on moss and shit, yeah.
Yeah, I could have fully healed her from sight.
That might have done the difference. Mechanically speaking, there was literally nothing I could. I used everything I had available. She was essentially the perfectly outfitted character to counter Aurelia.
I don't know,
completely.
solo combat that makes you mental defense or be confused
Yes.
every round is just
Exilia,
terrible.
Was unchanged from how she was whenever you last encountered her, or Renee Cauldron rather, in Newport some 15 sessions ago. And that was a enemy that was designed basically for an entire group in mind. And Aurelia fought her to a standstill.
We'll find her, Aurelia. We'll find her. We have the druid's aid. They can listen with the grass and the birds. There is no place you can hide as long as nature exists.
Yeah, I did figure she was unchanged from when we were supposed to fight her as a group, but she was still an incredibly frustrating enemy for me. Literally, targeting my weakest defense, completely disrupting every single form progression, and
It just, she ended up being a perfect storm. That's why the Gloom has succeeded for centuries. Although, her track record's a bit marred of late.
Well, I for one look forward to our next 20 sessions of maybe finding her eventually.
We do not have 20 sessions left in this campaign.
So, Grimith, I'm considering then shifting my Great Gold Worm die, because I haven't really made use of that.
Yes, you do still have a few lingering, which will be resolved between sessions. I'll go ahead and tell you guys not to roll icon dice this session. Basically, everything that's going to happen to you is going to be showered on by the fucking druids here. And you have no other means of getting icon connections as news of this shit spreads, and it will spread. Members of just about every faction have some membership here. That was redundant, here in the Druidic Conclave. And they're gonna go back to all of those other icons. Fucking Crusader's gonna hear about this, Priestess, Orc Lord, Dwarf King, Elf Queen. The 3 are gonna hear of this. The few survivors. This is going to ripple the fact that your group stole the Orb of Storms from a Lich Prince, delivered it back here to the Druids, and here in the middle of their conclave revealed horrific treachery and corruption.
Man, now the Crusader is going to be all up in 3's business. You make druids into demons? No. On my fucking watch.
Oh, that's true.
As for the druids themselves, the High Druid, severely wounded but very thankful, will note that the ritual will take a few less wounded, but she does have quite a number of hit points.
I can, I can do a lot.
Yes. She will note that the ritual to calm the Iron Sea will take some weeks to perform. It will be easily done, though, if she gets closer, and that's what she'll be doing. She, along with many of the other druids, are going to perform a mass exodus, gathering up from their conclave and heading for the Iron Sea. where they will use the Orbistorms and destroy it in a mammoth ritual to put the Iron Sea to rest.
No more chaos.
And to hunt
No more
whatever
small.
other horrific Sahagwin and Chaos beasts that attempt to rise from the depths during that ritual, and then in the aftermath of it. The Iron Sea matter has effectively been resolved. God can confirm that.
That Thomas guy is gonna be super jazzed.
Who can say? Perhaps he's been hiding from his destiny all this time, and we'll find another reason.
Well, it's time to bring you out of retirement.
Now someone really needs to make the land farmable. I have started a bar. Man.
No,
So-
just knock him unconscious and drag him down to the abyss.
Yes, sheep, have fun sleeping after the mammoth,
Yep.
12-hour shifts you've had.
I'm sorry I
I
forgot to
only
think
had-
sheep.
No, I only had 6 hours today, but I do have 12 hours tomorrow, which is just sitting around, so it's really not as bad. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Go away,
But-
sheep. But yes, congratulations, Gryph. You joined for to see the end of the combat, the revelation of Ajax.
Missed 3 times.
Grimith, I will also heal the centaur, and
Sure.
we have like him. I don't know, like maybe he feels bad now that he saw the all chaos beasts. I don't know.
Whenever he gets up, he's pretty damn angry and furious. That's redundant again. Good work, Grimith. Again,
He's
showing your
confused.
English mastery. Until he sees like all of the horrifically like warped druids. And then he will begrudgingly admit that he followed the wrong. And,
Perhaps he can spend his time trying to become a better and more honest person, and perhaps if he is revenge he wants, then it is the 3 he should look to for that revenge.
He is a better and more honest person, damn it.
Because they created this. Tried to destroy all of it.
Yes, this is undeniably, irrefutably a creation, a massive machination of the 3, spanning as far back as the start of the campaign.
So, I'm thinking that I might need more than one positive die with the High Druid now. I mean, I think I've been pretty much on their team at this point.
Sure.
I've been not been a minor force for.
Yeah.
For that.
I'm gonna take one away from the Great Gold Worm.
And, perhaps...
I'm gonna do that too.
I was say, perhaps Aranas has lost some faith in the Great Gold Worm after seeing the fucking Paladin there.
Yeah, like it's almost like that way might have lost. Like I told him to do what was good. I blessed him with my will of the Great Gold Worm in this battle, and he
And you wanted
slew
to keep
a
you wanted to keep it
surrendering.
He was a devil.
There's nothing beyond redemption, no?
Aurelia agrees.
But you slew him. You took that chance away from him.
He would have tried to trick us and send us on a wild goose chase.
Maybe,
And give us
but
wrong
that is
information.
why
We couldn't have trusted him.
That is why we are the better people. I
Yes, it is.
suppose maybe I misunderstood what this worm stood for. Although at least that now I stand next to nature and people here who despise these sorts of unnatural things and will still respect something being or acting as it is its nature. So
If it would have been almost anything else, I would have agreed with you. But not in this instance.
I might even want to switch one of my Elf Queen die into the High Druid as well, making that my most powerful one.
You
Switch
did to the
2
point.
dice, Manaki?
You
Yeah.
did to the point.
You don't think that's warranted?
I think it's fine. You just build a story from it. Certainly the Elf Queen will Well, the entire court will be slighted by your selection. Not enough to give you a cursed die, like the Archmage and Emperor, but news of this is like fucking like the Dark Elf. She ain't fucking like. Even if she lied for you, that's not going to change all of the other witnesses here.
Well, I mean, she wouldn't really need to lie. Just say that. No, yeah, Aranas, he just ended like a whole complot by the dragons to kill all of the druids, and he also like helped just fix the Iron Sea problem. We're kind of next to the Iron Sea, so now that's dealt with. No more need to guard that seafront.
Is it pretty much? Do you think it's pretty much the case of that one cursed die is pretty much it's going for the Emperor probably? It needs to pretty much go for the Emperor for me, considering.
Considering who sent you that note was the prefectus. Something royal governorship of Newport, something royal marriage with one of the Emperor's princes, like one of his sons.
Jasmine, you did the right thing. Now you know that, although you personally did not gain as much, perhaps, you know that the people of Newport will not have problems with the Sahagin, will not have to send their sons off to the seawall ever again.
The point is, it makes my icon relationship dice rather interesting to look at.
Yeah, I imagine.
Yeah.
But you have enemies and you have allies within that place now.
Also, I thought it's most fitting with people still calling me a cow that completed.
Grimith.
What?
Yeah, sorry. No, nothing. Oh. It's just a stupid troll question.
Okay. I'm glad you recognized that and shot it down before you brought it to my attention. Yes, you are less of an imperial cow now. They might even deign to learn your name.
Oh.
Jasmine? Cheeseman?
That's no animal I've ever heard of.
Yes. I know that was a pretty competent session. I did warn about that, and I figure after all the talky-facey sessions we had, and how we might go into more talky-facey depending on what your next choice is.
I mean, this certainly resolved this whole thing.
Yeah.
I did say resolution was coming too, one way or the other. Whether it was through campaign losses, or whether it's through, like, TPK, or whether it was
That'd be
through...
the worst. Just, like, freaking dying, all of us. No, you even spared all of our people. That's good. Because I know who would have been killed. That would be, like, my connection to my home.
Well, you guys could have chosen Leon.
That's true.
I said any of the NPCs up there. Leon was not excluded from that. But as it turns out, you guys were not so overwhelmed and pressured, even without being able to take up quick rest, that you had to take a campaign loss. The only person overwhelmed, and that was the one I thought most likely, was Aurelio's one-on-one.
Yep.
Because Exilia was a boss monster meant to fight an entire group, albeit a few levels ago.
Yeah, I imagine it was kind of close, but yeah, it's the mental defense. It's the worst one.
It's also rather interesting that the whole like spell crystals you mentioned, Grimith.
Mm-hmm.
Because this level was the one where I get an extra ranger talent, and 2 of them grant spell slots.
Yeah. You could take one of those talents and then be able to utilize a spell from the spell crystal. As noted,
I'm thinking of that.
each of the, there's only one of each spell crystal, so if one of you is going to take one of the spells, it's not available to the other people. You'll have to talk amongst yourselves to see what spells you want. And, of course, Tempus can't cast spells, so, I mean, he'll have to figure out something else to do with his crystal.
Underwater breathing. How does that work? Snorkels?
I mean, a lot of these are good against like dragons. So.
I was personally looking at the Hex brand personally. The one I had to take has to be a recharge or a daily. So
Do you have a decent charisma?
it is the highest of my mental stats, which is 15, soon to be 16.
All right.
So
Holy brand.
the Hex brand it's called, but it can also.
It's not a bad thing.
Mine as I said, mine has to be a recharge or a daily, or else I can't actually use it. Just
Okay. Yeah.
After the first incremental advance, I will have a +3 from wisdom and charisma.
Streaming ahead to that first incremental advance.
Yeah.
yeah,
Gonna happen
I
eventually.
I mean, I missed it. I planned what I would do when I get to level 12 more.
I mean, one of these would give me a ranged option, which would be kind of nice, but
Yeah.
then again, I mostly just look at things and get command points to actually use my class abilities,
Which is also pretty useful.
which
Yes.
is arguably better than...
Also do note that the individual spells, many of them do have their own feat trees. If
Yeah.
you're feeling so bold.
I have not enough feats to try that.